Welcome back to the Trauma Yoga series. These are mini trauma yoga sessions geared towards getting you into the space of what trauma yoga entails, what it feels like, and really to support you in getting into your body so you can begin healing trauma in your body. For more trauma yoga sessions that are long form, stay tuned because I'm creating the Trauma Recovery Experience membership, which will have longer videos and live sessions with yours truly. And yeah, so let's just get started today. This session is really about sinking into the experience of your body, okay? So everything we're going to do is going to be a little more laid back, okay? And this session is really going to be about feeling and noticing what's happening, okay? So, as always, to start, what I'm sitting on here is a block, okay? This is more of a cushy block. It's really nice. You will need at least one block, okay? If you don't have a block, use a firm pillow or two if you don't have a really firm one. That's about this size, maybe a little thicker. And blankies are always nice during yoga time. You can cover your feet, you can cover your tummy, and it just helps give some pressure. It makes you feel like you're having a hug whenever you need one. And today we want a bolster, okay? And this is a really dense, long pillow that you can lay your torso over. So if you don't have a yoga bolster specifically, that's okay. Go ahead and use a longer pillow. Some of you might have wedges or different things like that. Use something like that, okay? And as always, this class includes some opening of the hips. Recognize the hips are a holder in a space of deep and profound emotion, and it's a place where we hold a lot. So if you are feeling intensity in that place and it's too much, or you start to get flooded, back off a bit. It's okay. Take a break, all right? As always, this practice is for you. So if there is something you need, take it. And if there's something you don't need, leave it. Now let's get started. So we want our block to be reachable, and our bolster and our pillow, they're just going to go above our head. We don't really need those right now. All right. So we're going to swing around to our back and come all the way down. Now pause here with the bottoms of your feet on the mat. Allow your hands to rest wherever they feel most comfortable. That can be on your body, that can be on your sides, that can be arms wide open, just wherever your hands feel the most comfortable. Me, I'm going to place them on my body because that's what feels nice to me. And you have the option to close your eyes. Take a moment and notice all the places where your body touches the mat. Notice your breath. Notice how you feel. Now, starting from the tippy top of your head, notice that place. Coming through your forehead and eyebrows, notice if you're holding tension in that place. And see if you can gently release your forehead and your eyebrows. Noticing your nose, if you're scrunching your nose. And again, see if you can find some looseness. Coming through to your jaw, your mouth. Noticing if you're clenching your teeth. Maybe you open your mouth a little bit, letting your jaw relax, maybe even moving your jaw side to side for just a moment. And then gently allowing your mouth to close to its comfortable level. Jumping down to your shoulders, notice where your shoulders landed on the mat and see if you can walk your shoulders down your back, especially if your shoulders are often up in your ears. Just gently slide them down. Jumping down again to your hips, noticing if you feel any tension in your hip flexors or even the place where your low back meets the ground. And you might allow your knees to just sway side to side. Finding just a little bit of movement here, going slow. Notice if when I said move your knees side to side, if you started to move quite quickly, and see if you can slow that down. One more time, knees drop side to side before meeting in the middle, with the bottoms of the feet firmly placed back on the mat. Taking your time to get there. Now, from here, you might notice if your low back feels achy, that's telling you got some tightness in your hips. Right? Those places are very connected. So, what we're going to do here, just for a moment, is to let both your legs come down, slide down, almost like you're in Shavasana. And from here, we're just going to add a little bit of breath work to the practice. As always, tuning in to what your breath is doing now. I'm going to exaggerate this breath movement for you just a bit. So if you hear something loud, it's going to be my breath for the first round, okay? So notice your breath right now. And exhale all your breath out of your body. Next, you're just going to take a tiny sip of air, just a, and another sip of air in, and one more sip of air in. And then nice and slow exhale through your nose, as slow as you can. Again, when you exhale all the way, take a sip of air, another sip, and another sip in, and exhale through your nose. Again, one more time, sip air in and in, and another sip, and exhale through your nose, nice and slow. Return to your normal breath. Did that feel different? What did you notice about your breath in that moment? What do you notice about your body in this moment? Whatever you're noticing, whatever's here, it's all good. It's all welcome. There's nothing specific that you have to notice. Only notice what's here. As you're ready, slowly begin to bring the bottoms of your feet to the mat. Boop, one at a time. And this is where your block is going to come in handy. So you're going to grab your block, bottoms of the feet on the mat, and as you're ready, start to lift your hips up off the mat. Your block is going to come underneath you, right around where your low back and your hips are, and then you're going to place your hips back down on that block, okay? Now, for this, it is nice to have a softer block. So if you have a hard block, it won't feel as comfortable. And I suggest rolling up a blanket or folding a blanket and putting that underneath you. Just make the blanket thick, all right? And just let yourself settle into this posture. Now, if you notice that again your shoulders went in towards your ears, go ahead and slide your shoulders, boop, down your back. You may already notice some changes within you. Again, simply find a place of noticing what's happening rather than judging what's happening. Now, on your right side, you're going to bring your right knee in towards your body here. Now, I'm going to interlace my fingers around my knee, but if that's not comfortable, it can go around your thigh. And again, if that doesn't feel quite right, like that's not working for you, grab a strap or a scarf and you can use that to pull your knee in, okay? There's no reason to struggle here. So while we're here, slowly let your left leg come long on the mat. It's going to slide down and keep on hugging your right knee in. Notice if you had the feeling like you didn't want to breathe in this posture. Notice if you wanted to start clenching your jaw in this posture. All responses are valid. See if you can breathe into it a bit. Now, that right knee that you're holding on to, maybe you bring it a little out to the right. It's going to open up in here, the front body, especially the hip flexor area, a little bit more. Right knee comes back in towards your body. You might bring the bottom of your right foot up towards the ceiling for a moment. It's okay if your leg isn't completely straight. It doesn't really need to be. Okay, you can keep a bend in your right knee. You might find yourself wiggling your toes, encircling your right ankle. Bottom of the right foot comes down to the mat. And bottom of the left foot comes down to the mat. Take your time, take a moment, notice any differences, any sameness. Take a nice deep breath in and let it out. Switching sides, bringing your left knee in towards your body. And again, find what hold feels comfortable, whether that's a scarf strap or changing the hand position here. And it might be different on each side. So left knee comes in, and then slowly begin to allow your right leg to come long on the mat. Pausing here, breathing here, being here. Now again, you're going to bring your left knee slightly out towards the left side, getting a little more openness in the hip area. Feel free to change your hand positioning here. Don't be afraid of the pause. Don't be afraid of the space that's here. Slowly bring your left knee back in and allow the bottom of your left foot to come up towards the ceiling. Again, the leg does not need to be straight. Look at mine, it's got a nice little bend in it. You might wiggle your toes. You might circle your left ankle. Find any final movement on that left leg. And the bottom of the left foot comes down. Now our right leg is still extended. You have two options here, okay? You can either allow your left leg to extend and come into this posture. Now, this might be a little bit too much hip opening too much front body opening. And if that's okay, bring both feet to the mat. Okay? And we're going to stay in this posture for about a minute. So either way, whether that's bottoms of the feet on the mat or both legs long, find where you would like to pause for this moment. Recognizing you can move or shift or change at any point in time. Recognizing that you have options and choices. As you are wherever you are, notice your eyebrows, your nose, and your jaw, and see if you can soften. Gently and slowly begin to bring the bottoms of your feet to the mat. Slowly begin to lift your hips off of your block and bring your block off to the side. We won't need it anymore. Maybe while your hips are lifted, you give everything a little shimmy shake. As your hips go down, nice and slow, back to the mat. Slowly drop your knees side to side. Revisiting this place and seeing how it feels now. And as you're ready, begin to come to some stillness with the bottoms of your feet back on the mat. Slowly begin to hug both of your knees in towards your body and bring your forehead towards your knees. You might start to find a rock here. Side to side, up and down. Maybe in a little circle. And as you're ready, in whatever way feels the best for you, come up towards a seat. Allow yourself to settle in that seat. And from here, feel all the places where your body touches the mat, where it touches the ground. Now, as we set up for this final posture, this is what we're going to use for Shavasana. So this is where we're going to need our bolster, okay? So I'm going to bring my bolster vertical on my mat. This is a good place for blankies. If you want your blankie to cover your feet or your whole body, this is where I get my blanket out and start setting it up and getting it ready for myself, okay? I'm not going to use it because I want you to be able to see the posture that we're going into, but it's a great place to go. And this is how we're going to end it. I'm going to sit crisscross applesauce, all right? And my bolster, I'm going to bring it right up against my back and make sure it's right up against my body. And I'm going to find myself laying back. I'm going to let my arms come open wide. But if you find that you are feeling a little more wanting to be protective, arms on the body feels a little bit better. And again, a blanket, or even if you have a weighted blanket to put right here or over your legs, that can really help you feel a little more protected in these types of open postures. So find what feels good in this moment. If you're finding that the crisscross applesauce in this posture is just a little too much for your hips, like you're feeling like, oh, okay, I'm done with the hip openers, I'm done with that space, you might actually bring the bottoms of your feet to the mat and let your knees fall into each other. So pick whatever option works best for you. And if there is another option that I have not offered that you would like to take for yourself, go ahead and do so now. As you're ready, begin to bring the bottoms of your feet to the mat. Slowly begin to come up towards the seat in whatever way you feel is best. Taking your time, as there is no rush. You might find that you place both hands on your heart. You might find that you tuck your chin in towards your chest. Take a nice deep breath in. Open mouth, let it out. As always, thank you for being here and thank you for practicing with me.